start the show. The Good Life with BT. It's because welcome to the Good Life.
You are now listening to the Good Life Podcast.
Good Life. Good Life. These boys crazy.
You are now listening to the Good Life Podcast.
Good Life. What? A Good Life.
Macaulay, my dude, what's up, man? How are you?
What's up, DT? Popping, dude. Everything's popping. Everything's good. Feel good. I love music. I'm ready to get into it.
Dude, so we did a poll on Facebook, you know, that whole what band beats what band. And I love social media for this reason, dude, because the band we have on today commented Nickelback, which you should be happy about, dude. I don't know if it was one of these dudes we have on, but today we have on Set for the Fall. What's up, boys? How are you?
What's up?
If you guys want to go around and introduce yourselves, go ahead and say what you do in the band.
All right, well, so my name's Donovan. I play guitar, do like background vocals, screaming kind of thing.
I'm Joey. I'm just a vocalist. I don't really consider myself a real musician, but that's okay.
My name's Hampton. I do guitar and bass.
Guitar and bass.
Yeah.
Like recording? You do it all, huh?
Everything, yeah.
Man, I want to say this first before we kick this off, man. So we had started this podcast, what was it, last June or July, Spicoli?
Yeah, July.
Yeah, man. And we are probably every week sending out emails to bands. Come on, come on, come on, come on. And then you guys comment on our thing. I dropped the email, and you guys like really reignited my fire to get this thing going, man. You're like
awesome.
The first band that's emailed me and been like, we're a fan of the podcast. Like, dude, that's huge. Thank you guys so much, man.
Yeah,
like,
for
seriously,
sure,
that means the
man.
world to us,
Absolutely.
man.
Yeah, like I feel like podcasts are just like kind of taking over the world now. Like I feel like what's funny is like back in the day, everyone was listening to radios, you know, and like listening to everything on the radio, like the shows, and then we had TV for a while, and then now I feel like we're reverting back to like, you know, like the podcast world. Like
Yeah.
it's just like, you know, it's so crazy. I think it's just really cool.
It's so fun, dude. We've had so many bands on. I think bands that you guys know. I've seen you guys interact with, so like Islander. I've seen you guys interacting with those dudes in Red, and so it's cool to
dude.
get you guys on too, man.
For sure. Yeah, Islander lives about 2 hours from here. Or you're probably close to you because they're in South Carolina.
Yeah.
So like we're like close to like well, he's south more than I am, but like I guess our central point would be like Hickory or around
That's
there.
that's like where the band's based out of now is here in the North Carolina, towards the mountain area. But we started over towards like Fayetteville, North Carolina and stuff. That's where the band kind of started. But
That's where I grew up, dude.
no
Really?
way, really?
Yeah, I grew up in
Vietnam?
Vietnam, man.
Vietnam,
Vietnam,
that's
dude.
what I call it.
I'm
sorry.
Dude,
know?
right? I got beat up a lot,
That's where
dude.
Harrison. That's where Harrison, the other guitarist, is from. He
Oh, really?
grew up there. He lived there. Yeah.
That was a
I
dangerous
live,
spot
like-
back then, dude.
I live like 40 minutes away from there in Pinehurst, where all the rich people live. But I'm
Okay.
not rich, so you know.
He's the one funding the band. He's like, I'm the singer. I'm funding it all. I live in the rich neighborhood.
So yeah, dude. I guess I had not heard of you guys before you had commented on that post, and then I was like, who is this? And I went and listened. I think Dead and Gone was the first one I heard, and I was like, yo, like who is this? And I immediately sent it to Spicoli, and I was like, yo, check this out.
Yeah, people are sleeping on us, you know, but
I'm guilty of sleeping on people, dude. So I'm sorry.
That's right.
It's happened more than
Yeah.
once on the podcast.
yeah, this new stuff we're working on, which is like right now, like the reason why we kind of chose this weekend was because like we were already getting together to plan to like we actually this whole weekend we've been writing for the new stuff. We're planning to go to the studio next month, and so it's just kind of like let's get together, get some stuff going, get kind of back into the mode for like when we walk in there and we're not like completely like out of it by the time we get to the studio. So, which is like why we were mentioning earlier about how we just brought him in because like for me personally, like sometimes I feel like it's in anything you get kind of stuck in a rut of certain things of like writing the same way, and it's just like how do I break out of that, you know? So it's like the whole intention was like let's bring people in, let's kind of write with people that are going to push us. Like I've known him for like ever, like 10 years probably or something more, and like I've always reached out to him over like FaceTime or Facebook Messenger, being like, "Hey, here's this riff idea. What do you think of this?" Because like me and his music styles are completely different. Like, I mean, kind of, it's like it's weird. He's more into
There's
like
overlap, but
yeah.
I like this kind of music. It's funny, is like not what I listen to at all. It's not what I
Really?
listen to. Yeah, I'm into the more extreme technical death metal, deathcore, black metal stuff.
Like
But
what?
it's-
Like what?
Bands like Lorna Shore and
Okay.
Alluvial, those Silosis, like those bands are.
Which I never heard of any of those besides Lorna
Me
Shore,
either.
obviously.
I'm about to say, the only one I've heard of is Lorna Shore, dude. I'm not gonna lie to you.
So what's cool though is we did Dead and Gone. We worked with some new producers and stuff, and then when we're going back in, Donovan had mentioned Hampton was moving back from Nebraska, and like I said, he's been a friend of the band, and they've known each other forever. And when he was even interested, I guess Donovan mentioned it. I mean, it already pinged in everybody's head like he's way more technical at guitar and all these things than we have been in the past. So we knew it was going to be such an addition to, hey, we can get really riffy, but still create
Shake
some
the
very,
butts.
yeah,
Well,
we can still shake. What did that person say? We can still let loose. I don't know what you're saying, but
Yeah.
So
we
was
can,
Dead and Gone with the addition? Is that when?
No,
they
not
did it?
yet.
No, this is.
Is that before?
It's we're kind of in the process. We're staying true to the sound of Set for the Fall. We're not trying to come out of left field and be a whole different band.
We're not trying to be like Lorna Shore now
Yeah.
for the next.
But
I don't have
That's
the
a
vocal
lot
cords
different,
for that.
dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have the vocal cords. for
but
that.
it's we're just trying to like kind of reinvent
Mhm.
the
The wagon wheel
Yeah.
upset for the fall.
yeah.
Just because, like, I mean, like I was mentioning, like we get stuck in this rut of like he was like even like he's noticed that I get stuck in like the 12th fret area of
Yeah.
guitar. Like, it's just because like I'm like super heavily influenced by like North Lane and like all those kind of bands. Like they're just super like I don't want to say airy, but like they just kind of go up in that register in the
For
guitar.
sure. Yeah.
So like, because I remember I pushed myself a long time ago, like a few years ago, like I was so stuck in like the first 7 frets of the guitar, and I was just like, now I'm only going to push myself in the 8 and up, and then so now I fell in love with the 12th fret, and then so every time I write a riff, he's like, get out of the 12th fret. I'm like, I can't. It's like I'm stuck. It's like
Stay
I love
in your
it.
own yard, bro.
Well, you had even mentioned like somebody before had commented about Nickelback. Like that was the world I sat in, was like Nickelback and like all these butt rock bands, which that's awesome. Yeah, I love those bands. But Donovan and then now Hampton and even Harrison, they've brought, new bands for me to look at, War of Ages and all. And I mean, Wage War. I like
Oh, yeah.
all these bands. I had no clue what kind of music they had, and then I was like, wow, this is really new to me, but so awesome to try to maybe not emulate, but grab pieces of that and turn it into something that is us.
I think that's why I really, really enjoy listening to you guys, man. You have one of those voices, dude. That's like one of those mainstream. It's very good, rock
Thank you,
voices
man.
over
I
those
appreciate it.
super deep, chunky riffs, dude. And that's
That's
a
all
hard
them.
mix to do, man.
Yeah, and I think that's really like when we like Harrison says it a lot too. Like the guy that's our guitarist is not here. He's like I feel like we can write just about any kind of, not any style, but like we can really write what we want. But then as soon as Joey layers onto it, it brings it right back to like Set for the Fall. You know what I'm saying? Because he has that voice, and like with me and him, and now Hampton, like he has some good vocals as far as like screams and like and stuff. So, like I feel like this new stuff's gonna be fun.
There's just
for
gonna be
sure.
a lot more layers.
Yeah,
we're adding more layers to everything.
yeah, it's
I'm
gonna be
guessing
exciting for sure.
Hampton, right? I'm sorry, is that the name? I'm sorry, Paul.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's going to get a little bit heavier adding Hampton in. That's my assumption.
Yeah,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
it's gonna be more riffy. It's there's gonna be a lot of heavier, more technical riffs. It's
But it's still got that bounce.
Yes.
but there'll be a
That
lot.
cadence is the important part, right? Yeah.
Right, and a lot more of the riffs will be catchy. Like,
Yeah.
a lot of the stuff, the old Set for the Fall stuff, it's the vocal melodies that get you, with the music complementing the melodies, and then we're trying to,
Well, I was even talking to Harrison last week. I'm like, it's just been so long since I've heard, and not to mention, those type of bands like 3 Days Grace. When you heard I Hate Everything About You, or you know when a Nickelback song comes on, or a Breaking Benjamin. It's like those guitars were so iconic.
Yeah.
You know, you knew exactly what band you were going to listen to because they had created a sound that is unique to their own. And not saying that we were lacking that, but we were. I mean, we do not have those iconic guitars at this point, but we are definitely pushing that boundary and trying to make that a staple. So when somebody hears a song come on the radio or whatever, they're like, I know exactly who this is, you know? So.
Yeah.
So for those who are just discovering your band, what's kind of the message? What should people know about you?
We'll be back after a quick break.
Up in the castle, evil mischief stirs.
Plan number 42. I shall turn myself into a cat and get adopted by the butcher's daughter so I can learn all her secrets. Then, I will use them to make her fall in love with me. What do you think, Wilson?
Hey, check out 1v1 Me DM on all podcast platforms to see more of Dracula's perfect plans at finding true love.
Just like, I don't even know. We just like, it's weird. Like, I feel like right now we're in such like a weird limbo status of like where we're at because like obviously like because of COVID and all that stuff that happened, like there was a lot of like slowdown and now it was like we kind of got back together and was just like, okay, we just want to have fun again. Like for personally, like I was just like, I want to feel like I'm back in high school or middle school and I'm going to my friend's garage and we're going to just freaking have fun and jam. You know, it's like, so it's just like, we just want to play music that we enjoy writing. And I feel like the fans that we already have are going to enjoy it because the music that we write is the reason why they like us in the beginning. So like anything we do right from then on is going to be just as good, if not better.
Yeah, and we all have a story, and like I said, over the last 4 or 5 years, a lot of stuff has changed in our lives. I mean, I've got a family, I've got 2 kids. You know, Donovan got married. You know, Hampton just had a big move. Like we do not write about stuff that we don't live, that we aren't dealing with, and I think that's a big part. I mean, we're not fake. We're going to be honest about what we're struggling with, the things in our life that we want to fix or that really, you know, hurt us the most.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Cause like I said, the story is like, I think one thing with like us was, like we really wanted to like reach out with like having songs that people can really relate to and not kind of box it in. Like this song is only about like, of like a breakup with a girl, you know, it's just like, or whatever it is. Like we want to be kind of inclusive with like anybody because like
we have those conversations
yeah,
when we're writing.
yeah,
We're like,
and then,
how does this?
Yeah, and like Joey, like he was adopted growing up, so a lot of the older stuff it was like about that and like his upbringing in that whole environment, and like the Still Just Breathing album, a lot of it was like a mixture of a lot of it. Like we had a lot of like deaths, like family was passing away, and just like, and so it was like, it's just like we don't have like a certain message. I feel like
It's just art reflects life. That's all.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean that.
You know, you
something.
guys are heavily faith based. You know, that's everything I've read, and obviously, you know, I think that's awesome. And we had like to kind of touch base and piggyback off what you're talking about. Like we had Michael Barnes on from Red, and the good thing, not the good thing, but like the thing I like about your music, you know, is similar to Red's is they're writing about faith, but it can be, you know, taken in like 7 or 8 different ways.
Yeah. You can interpret it however.
Yeah.
You want.
And they're very good at that. Your
the
guys'
thing
music is the same way too.
Right.
I would say this, like the band definitely started out heavily in that area, and I'm not saying it's deterred from that, but
yeah,
you know, after finding my faith, I quickly realized life just doesn't become easy.
Yeah.
Like you're not, I mean, to me, it's harder because you have a moral standard that you're trying to achieve, but you still have the rest of these thoughts and these intrusive things in your life that are always trying to compete for your attention and all these things. And so it just becomes chaotic. And what's cool about music is, and with having friends, like brothers that you can hang out with and stuff like that, what happens is you get in a room and you can really say, this part of my life sucks and I need to get it out. This is therapy for me. This is something that helps me go home and still be a dad because I got all that out in here, or helps me be a better musician because these guys can see, okay, well, we need to focus on this and or refocus on this so that you can get that out, and it makes the music better.
Do you feel like that you're put more under? I guess here's an example, like a microscope.
Absolutely.
Like when you're faith based, like for example, Brian Headwelch, right? So he came out, he started what was the band Love and Death, and then there's tons of Christians and people who are like, how can he play a live set with Korn now? And it's like,
for us, like it's like now I don't feel like we're more like the music, like we were saying, we don't like the music is like just about like our own stuff. Now we're kind of been pushing more into like the more mainstream world, just because like we're, I mean, like obviously like I believe in God, and like members believe in God and stuff in the band, and but like we don't want our music to be just, oh, that's just a Christian rock band. You know what I mean? Like we just want to be set for the fall.
You don't want to be pigeonholed,
exactly.
right?
We're just set for the fall,
and that I mean, contrary to belief, I mean that happens. Like, Dead and Gone's a good song, but I mean that was about the struggle with music for me. Like, I know that this is hard for my family. I know this is hard for friends when you can't be around them and stuff. But like, look, you can have all of this when I'm dead and gone. This is a legacy I'm leaving to you. Like, I want my kids, if they want to remember, they pull up the music video. You're going to see, like I'm leaving this for generations after. So hopefully that it helps them through something or whatever. But it's not. I mean, we're not writing like, all right, well, this is from Luke chapter, like I'm not. I don't write that way. So,
it probably wouldn't come across as real if you did, right?
But there's bands that do that and they do it well. One thing that I've noticed, in the Christian world, a lot of musicians get put on the pedestal. And like you said, the microscope, and then they don't add up to what, or they have something going on in their life, and then people ridicule them, or they admonish them for not being perfect, and you're like, yeah. I know, that's what we're writing about. So
there's a band that comes to mind, man, that I think got pigeonholed hard, dude, and I don't know if you guys know them, but they're called We As Human. Dude, I thought they were gonna blow up like extreme, and then like I think they had like one album, and I was like, dude, what happened to We As Human? And I'm almost, I don't know if that's what happened to them or not, man, but man, they were amazing.
It's like the band Spoken. I love that band.
Yeah.
I wish more people knew about them.
Well, they're actually, they actually just dropped a single.
Yeah.
With Brian Head Welch, which is funny. We were just talking about that.
And so Harrison, is he still in Decipher Down?
Yeah, he's still there. Yeah.
So how does that help? How does that help you guys out? I mean, is that kind of like, does that get? I don't know your guys' musical background and what you guys came from, so I only know about Harrison.
I found Decipher Down when I was living in Florida, and I didn't realize like most of the members from North Carolina, where I was from. But what's cool is that whole journey. We've got to play with him, and then we got to be friends with the guitarist, and Brandon stepped down, and they gave Harrison that opportunity, which is so cool. But anytime which Donovan plays in other bands, Hampton's played in a million bands, but all it does, I mean, it's you play different styles of music. It just makes you a better musician. Like I think Harrison playing the Decipher Down stuff, I mean, it gives him a swing to his guitar playing that he wouldn't have unless he was learning songs like that. So I think it helps musicians to play different types of music all the time.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it certainly challenges you, and also you come back with more inspiration. Like he might bring something new to the table that you guys haven't heard before, and everybody being open to new ideas and new songs and a little bit of experimentation can kind of lead you down a different direction. So I think that's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So you guys released Dead and Gone. It's the newest single. When's what we expecting in the future, man? I know we've had a minute in, so we're getting ready to drop some stuff. When we can
so it's exciting stuff, which is like we were writing this weekend was just preparing for some more stuff. Like we have songs ready to go. Right now it's just in the ether of waiting on mixes and masters, or what it comes down to.
Because we're taking a hardcore pivot from the standard, like the rock standard. Like if you put us in a box as far as the genre that the band is, we're pivoting towards trying to push a lot of things. For example, we're planning on getting our stuff mixed and mastered by a different guy who does not mix and master this kind of music. Really, he's more into the heavier stuff as far as that. So we're trying to like write the same kind of style stuff that we're usually known for, and then just kind of mix and master it on a different level, add a little bit more of a unique sound to it. And I think that's going to be.
I mean, we're throwing a lot of things at the wall. We're going to see what sticks.
Yeah.
I mean, we've worked with a couple different producers. I don't know if you've heard Product of Pressure, but that was Andrew Bayless, who's worked with people like Jelly Roll and like Varsity. But you know, it's cool to work with different people for the same reasons, but we're also we want to make more connections. We want to meet more people, and it's a lot smaller than you think. All the people know each other. It's crazy.
We've learned that. Yeah, we've learned that
Yep.
on the podcast,
So,
dude.
you name drop, and then like 3 people in the room are like, oh yeah, I know him. We had lunch last week. It's like, oh
Right.
okay, that's cool.
Yeah, it is crazy. Like you had mentioned, we as human, like we were just on a phone call with him yesterday with Jake
What?
Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Are
were just
they-
talking to him.
Are they still doing music or what?
No, so he's Jake has actually been doing more of like videography stuff. Like he's doing music videos for bands, and he actually
Okay.
partnered with a girl, Adrian. I can't say her last name. It's like Bako or something.
Okay.
And they have a whole like media thing that they do. Like they do like the Unreal Engine music videos, regular music videos. So I mean, that's what he's been doing. And then like Justin. Last I've heard, he's moved to Washington and is like just doing the family thing. And I never got to meet. I'm talking about Justin Forshaw, not Justin Cordell. I've actually never met Justin Cordell because we met them when they were starting the new band. What they started? It was a new band. As We Ascend was a new band they did with Robert Venable, and he's like a Grammy nominated producer with. He does the Kelly Clarkson show now. Which is
Oh,
but yeah, so he was the drummer in that band, and then so that's when we were when we met them. We were just in Nashville and on an off day on tour, and I think I had hit up Justin Forshaw because I had done lessons with him years ago.
They were working with GFM.
Yeah, and we met him in Nashville, had some lunch with him, and that's where we kind of met initially. But like I said, all it took was just me messaging him on Instagram. Was just like, hey, dude, I'm in Nashville. And he was just like, yeah, come on by. And I was just like, and it just happened because we knew people, like the same people. So he knew I wasn't just like some random guy just going like, hey, man, I just want to meet you.
It's crazy,
coffee
dude, how
shop,
that works
bro.
now. Like Instagram and stuff. Like there's,
Yeah.
we've booked tons of artists off Instagram. Like Tommy Vex, I hit him up on Instagram and I was like, hey, what's up, Tommy? You want to come on? He's like, yeah, sure. And I'm just like, what? Like that was our first guest, dude.
Yeah, it's
Or
like
second guest.
That's awesome.
And that's like what's crazy to me about like we were just talking about like the way things used to be back in the day earlier. But like social media has like given people such like an advantage, but it's also kind of been like a disadvantage. Also, I feel personally, the advantage of it is like you get to see somebody that you really enjoy, like somebody you look up to every single day, like or if they post a story every day. But the downside to it is it's created this, to me personally, it's created this like thing of like instant gratitude.
Oh yeah.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
like, so,
dude,
like,
for sure.
You know what I mean? So like if like
It's a monster.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
like
if you don't feed it, it gets mad at you.
Like the other thing too, like what happened to 3 from Sleep Token?
yeah, that thing happened.
He got doxxed. I mean, social media.
That's not okay. You know, like
not.
everybody deserves their anonymity if they want it. But you know,
Damn, I'm glad you
about
brought
the pros.
Sleep Token, dude. Because I got a question for you since you're a Lawrence Shore fan. Have you seen Will Ramos do that cover of Chokehold?
I've seen every single Will Ramos video.
Dude,
Imagine.
I didn't think somebody could do a Sleep Token song better. Dude, that like when I saw him do Chokehold, I was just like, why didn't they do it this way?
what I love about him when he does that, he does like a breakdown of it. Too.
Yeah.
He just pays attention to the textures of the lead singer's voice. He's like, listen to this part, and then he's like, listen to how that trails off, and then you don't realize a lot of that stuff may go unheard. You know, the average person doesn't listen to it, but musicians, we tend to hear those little intricacies that other people don't hear that make it into the recording, you know, which is so cool.
Yeah.
Well, all those screams that Will added into Chokehold made
He's
it,
insane.
I don't have those. So
Dude,
don't
I'll
worry
literally
about
drive
that.
around on YouTube and listen to that version because it's not on Spotify, I don't think. So I'm just
Yeah,
like, all right, I
it's
got to
so
YouTube
sick.
it.
Yeah.
That's dope, man. So is Hunter? Did he mainly run the social media for you guys?
Oh, Harrison.
Harrison.
Yeah.
Harrison,
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, so he's mostly our social media guy because like
He's the youngest. He
yeah,
knows all
like
this
he
stuff.
like it was kind of like we wanted to kind of like create like kind of like not share the workload, but it's just like when like one person's doing everything, it just burns you out a little bit. You know, like it was kind of like all right, I'm
Right.
You like you feel like you're always like obligated to do things like so it's just like Harrison was just like, I mean, I got nothing to do. I'll do social media, and it was just like all right. It was like
I mean,
I always see you guys pop up on like other bands, like as the comment.
yeah, that's what he always does.
Was it Saint Estonia? Is that what they're called, Spicoli?
Yeah,
I
San
saw
Antonio.
like they
Yep.
popped up a comment and he's like, "Hey man, you guys got the open spot for us to play or what?" It's just always I see that popping up, and I was like, "This
man,
dude is grinding."
We roll with this philosophy of I think Wayne Gretzky, like you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Same here, bro.
Take a shot. What are they gonna say? No.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's my saying. It's like the worst thing they could say is no or leave you on red. Like that's it.
Leave you on red. That hurts though. That hurts a little bit.
we've thrown some stuff out there that we're like, there's no way this is gonna happen. I think probably one of our favorite moments is probably Story of the Year. I'm from that era of that kind of music.
same.
So when we landed Story of the Year, I was just I was huge to us, man. I was like,
Yeah,
no
dude.
way, man.
I know. I mean, like I was freaking out. Now that we're kind of sharing stories, like we have a buddy of ours that we met that did sound for us on a tour we did, and now he does lights for like Falling in Reverse and like Papa Roach, and he was actually on tour with Limp Bizkit, and I was like, brother, I was like, Limp Bizkit, you get to hang out with Fred Durst every day. I was like, dude.
We can share stories. That's all right. It's the fun part about the podcast.
Yeah,
so if
dude.
you're from Nebraska, dude, I don't know, how long did you live here for?
I wasn't from Nebraska. I moved there. I was there for 7 years.
7 years. And what years were you here?
From 2016 to December of last year.
Okay. So I don't know how much of the local music scene from Omaha you really knew.
I was kind of familiar with it.
Okay. It's 2016. I guess that probably been Arson City-ish time. They were big then, weren't they? Chloe, was that in fact?
Yeah.
That was Arson.
for sure.
So Haven 21, I don't know if you remember them. They were like a pop punk group.
No.
My buddy Christian, he was the guitarist, man, and then he kind of, a lot of my friends kind of took off in the world, and Christian started doing some pretty cool things, man, and then he became, I think he was like Sleeping with Sirens, guitar tech, and then Mayday Parade's guitar tech, and he kept climbing this ladder, dude. Now he's Hypervale's road manager.
That's sick, dude.
So Mayday Parade, I lived in Tallahassee when they were like blowing up. And
Dude,
it was
I
the
love
funniest thing because none of them, they were high school kids.
Yeah.
And to see Floyd's was like, I mean, it was just girls everywhere. I was like, who's playing tonight? And they're like, Mayday Parade. I was like, who the heck is that? And I go in there and it's like it's just like emo night, bro. And I was like, oh, sweet.
God, I love some Mayday Parade.
Yeah, dude. I
loved it,
We
dude.
had them on the
They were
podcast,
awesome.
dude. I got to go backstage and hang out with them, and they're
sick.
super nice guys, dude. And they're super cool dudes.
Speaking
man.
of bands from Omaha, there's a band that's up and coming. They're going to be the biggest thing. And they're going to be the next biggest thing in the metal scene, I think.
What are they
They're called Cats. They're called Cat's Claw. Cat's Claw. Yeah.
But he's looking, he's like, oh.
They're playing. They're actually going to play a show in Omaha with Earth Groans in a couple of days.
I like Earth Groans.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're-
At a Slowdown, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I met the singer James Morgan when they played their first show with Silent Planet just a couple weeks ago, and they were incredible.
Well, if we get Cat,
And they're from Omaha, Cat's Claw?
They're from Omaha. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey.
We'll get them on.
Absolutely. They're absolutely incredible.
I know we're talking about all these other bands. We're not even talking about set for the fall, man. We're just here, just
fine.
kicking
I
it.
know.
Man.
I mean, it's just that's the fun
We're humble,
part.
man. We're humble.
That's the fun
Yeah,
part. Though,
yeah.
is like
No,
sharing stories. We have some
Yeah,
crazy
sharing
tour
stories, talking about musicians that they're inspired by and look up to. I think that's cool when other musicians talk about other bands that like really inspires them and like what makes them feel good and what is cool about their band, because I'm sure those musicians are saying the same thing about Set for the Fall.
Right.
I will say this about Set for the Fall, and this is not like me just saying this because they're on. After I heard them the first time, they're probably on a regular rotation on my 25-minute drive to work every morning.
it.
There's one of your
That's awesome.
songs definitely get played every morning because I'm like, all right, this ain't
That's
speed
cool.
up, dude.
That's awesome.
I think you'll like the new stuff then.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Oh,
dope.
sure I
We're
will.
stoked for it. Yeah, because like we were mentioning earlier, like the whole intention of like this new stuff was let's work with who we want to work with, like not box ourselves in, like not like just reach out to everybody. Like I said, the worst thing they're gonna say is no. Like I think I reached out to like 10 producers just to kind of see price wise for budgets, and like I reached out to like Dan Bronstein and gosh, I mean Andrew Bayless was one, and then we had some friends of ours that we did with, and then I can't remember who else we reached out to.
We've reached out to Clint too.
Yeah, like we just like other like members of like bands that we look up to, like Seven Dust. A lot of the influences, like Harrison's that loves Seven Dust as well, and I know that Clint does like producing, so we reached out to Clint just to see. And I did get into his DMs, which I was super freaked out about because like when they reply back, you're like, oh my god.
Oh yeah,
I'm in there. Like, I'm not in the request folders no more. So it was like, so I got into his DMs, and it was just like, yeah, just send me some stuff, and you got it. And I sent him some stuff, but he left me on red, and I was like, oh.
He's a busy man.
It's so demoralizing, isn't it? Dude?
I was like, oh man, I had it.
A little background on Spicoli. So Spicoli was in rock radio for 18 years, man. So I mean, he's got interviews with Chester Bennington. I mean, I'll let him talk on it, dude. But like, so I'm the same way though, dude. Like, I'll have somebody respond to me, and I screenshot it and send it to him. And he's like, "Cool, close the deal." He's like, "I don't care if you respond. Close the deal, bro."
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, and right now, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh,
go ahead.
Right.
You go ahead. You're a rock star.
Do you know? I guess you guys know who Attila is.
Oh yeah.
So Chris from Attila is who we're working with on our current.
Nice.
He is very gifted. He's a good dude, man.
Yeah, I'm actually excited to see him and Chris together because he's like a phenomenal guitarist. Like I got to tell you, like I would always reach out to him for like advice and tips, and like literally I'll just call him to like be like, hey, what are you doing? And he's just like, pick up your guitar, we're practicing. And I was like, what? I was like, no. I don't want to do that right now.
We'll probably disappear and go get lunch when him and Chris start messing with guitar and stuff.
But I'm excited to see like how they kind of because like Chris is phenomenal on guitar as well, and just as kind of, and I think they both kind of talk the same language as far as like, because like it was like 3 a.m. last night or the night before, and he was like, let's learn modes, and I was like, I don't want to know, I don't want to learn modes right now. It's 3 a.m, Hampton. No,
I crawled in bed and went to sleep. I was like, you guys have fun.
It's like, graduate to this. Let's go.
Right. Well, like, yeah, it's in your bones. You want to get better, and you want to continue to learn, and you want that signature riff, that you want that certain sound that you're looking for each song. And like you said, when people hear it on the radio, they know automatically it's Breaking Benjamin, or they know it's 3 Days Grace, or they know this is going to be a Papa Roach song. There's just something about that stands out, that you guys want your own sound. And what I think based on what I've heard with Dead and Gone, I mean, if that's the future sound of what you guys are going for, and a little bit heavier from what I'm kind of hearing, I think people should be really excited about what you guys are doing.
It's going to be sick for sure. We're excited 100%. Yeah. It's just like, and then what's funny, what sucks about it is like, you just wish you could just hurry up and release it.
Yeah.
We're just like, like we already have like this one idea we got done, like fully almost mapped out. Like it's like 99% there. And it's just like I was literally in the car, we were listening to it. I was like, let's just release it right now. I was like,
I almost think it's harder now since they're going back to the singles game, like they did so long ago. It's almost harder because you have to create this content for this one song, but you're going to keep doing that. You're going to stay working.
And each one has to be a banger, dude. That's the thing. Each one has to be.
You're like, I write nothing but singles now because nobody wants to hear just trash on an album.
The B-side.
The new stuff we've written, like there's certain riffs that we've literally had on repeat in the DAW, just looping over and over again because it's that good.
Oh yeah,
and that's the kind of riffs we wanted to write that we did.
Mm-hmm.
We've had this one particular riff on repeat for the last 2 days. That's just
what's funny is he plays it and we're like, yeah, that's good, and then we went off to another idea and he comes back and he goes, yeah, we're gonna rewrite that chorus, and I'm like, what? And he's like, no, seriously, just wait. And then he plays it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's even better. And then we come back and he like rewrites it one more time. And I'm like, what are we doing? Why are 42 like versions of this thing?
And I guess that's like the monster of like writing music. Even like when you release it, like I listen to our old stuff and I'm just like, gosh, I should have added that. Like you're never done with a song. I feel like it always can be better.
And I've said that I've touched base about Ben Burnley from Breaking Benjamin on that. That's how he is in the studio. I've heard he is such a crazy perfectionist dude that it takes him forever to release something. So I don't know how true it is. I just heard that through the grapevine.
I know.
It
I mean, because like that was another producer we reached out to, not Ben, but like the guy that used to go with was Dan Corniff up in New York, and he was another guy that I reached out to on Instagram when we were driving through New York and we had an off day, and I was just like, "Hey Dan, I'm in the band. Except for the fall, we have an off day. Would love to meet you." You know, and he's like, "Yeah, come by my studio," and I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Like, what's hilarious is we all went to Wendy's and we were like, "Dude, we got you, bro."
Yeah,
like,
we thought we were balling.
I got you. He's like,
I got your Baconator. Oh, we're talking about Wendy's,
we
bro.
did the 4. That was when they had the 4.
Four
for 4.
Yeah.
4 for 4.
Did they sell the Hawaiian T-shirts then, Hospital?
Hell yeah. I hope so. The Hawaiian shirts.
We had a podcast.
Yeah, I hope you bought a Hawaiian shirt. If you didn't buy a Hawaiian shirt from Wendy's, then you're not balling yet.
You guys should hit up Rob Graves on TikTok, man.
I think we've reached out to Rob Graves. I think he is that the one.
That's the guy.
He's the one that does the red stuff, right?
Red, Breaking Benjamin, Star Set. Exactly, he does them all, yeah.
There's another one. I can't remember what his name is. He follows us, or his studio follows us on Instagram. And that's the one thing is like when you get followed by somebody that you're just like, holy crap, like this person is huge, and then you start freaking out, and you're just like, all right, I got to chill out.
I mean,
like,
it's funny because this is a different world for me as far as the genre. Like these are names. Some of these names, like I have no idea who they are.
Like Rob Graves, does he like live out in the Arctic tundra, or was that just where he was working for at one point? Because I'm like, dude, this is your studio.
Yeah.
I was like, I want to go there just to hang out for a minute.
Yeah.
It looks so cool. But I'm like,
amazing,
where
man.
do you live? Canada? Like, what's going on?
You live in the North Pole, bro. What's going on?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you Santa?
Yeah. Let's do this, man. When you guys are getting ready to release your new stuff, let's bring you back on, man. I'd love to debut something or just share it out, man. Let people hear it, man. I can't wait to hear it, man.
What's the expectation? What's the goal? Like, when do you plan on to drop? You're releasing a full length album or a couple more? Just a couple more.
We'll do singles.
Yeah,
and that's the downside.
Something takes off.
Yeah, that's the downside right now. Is like, I wish we can give a window, but
it's the most financially responsible thing for a band to do at this point.
Yeah. But so it's like right now we have I think 4 or 3 songs, or 4. We have 4 songs that we're waiting on mix and masters from our other producer. With
Got
that
a video for one.
Yeah, so it's like we have stuff ready to go. It's just waiting for them to. Now it's just like it's not even waiting on us. It's like waiting for the other people to get their jobs done, so that we can do our part on it. So
so for those up and coming artists that are listening, how much is it for one song?
Well, it depends. That's the one thing, because like I said, I reached out to multiple producers, and I've heard everything ranging from like Dan Corniff, for example. Like I was just like, hey, how much is it for a song? And then he was like, well, if you're on a label, and I never even knew that was a thing until I met him.
There's different prices. That's all I'll say.
Is it kind of like having health insurance and not having health insurance?
Yeah, because he was like, if you're on a label, it's $6 grand or $8 grand a song. If you're not on a label, it's negotiable. And I was just like, well, what's negotiable?
It's
like, I got $1. You know what are we doing?
He's like,
I got a number 4 from Wendy's.
Yeah, dude, I'm buying that for you.
Yeah, so like I mean, it's like it ranges on who you want to work with, because it's like, and like at the time, like I mean, prices have changed. Like with Andrew Bayless, we were paying $2,000 to $3,000 a song, and now he's got Jelly Roll that's blown up, and his numbers have like doubled or not tripled.
And you're like, dude, you crushed it. You did your job, and you get to rake in those benefits of being able to charge that.
I think one of the smartest bands that did it lately, and we're going to follow their template, is Spirit Box. When Spirit Box came out, they just did. I mean, they had an album out, and then they just did singles. And then when they got all the traction in the world because of how amazing that band is, that's when they dropped a full length, and it was one of the most anticipated albums you could ever imagine. And then they decided to switch up their sounds and release, like a 3-song EP. And this recent EP they did, it's just they're doing it right, and we kind of want to follow that template.
Yeah, because I remember he showed me Spirit Box like
way back,
like so it was before they were like even like anybody knew who they were. And I know everyone says that. I knew them before they were big, but it was like I remember
I'm that dude, man. I am that dude, 100%.
Yeah, and like we were actually at his house I think me and my wife were taking like a road trip, and we were in Nebraska, and he let us stay there on the way up there, and he was like, "Sit down. I need you to show you this video." And I was just like, "What is this video?" And he's like, "It's going to be your new favorite band."
Yeah.
And then he showed me the Mara Effect Part 3 by Spirit Box, and I was like, "This song is sick." Like and then like I think he was telling me like they did their own music videos, like they were so DIY because it is hard to like to make it with money without money, obviously. Like it's like everything costs so much money in the music industry, and it's like if you're able to do things on your own, like that's why I learned how to do graphic design work, like Photoshop, so I could do all our album covers. I could do like anything we need for like t-shirts, and just because all that stuff just costs money. So the more you can like do internally, is obviously going to save you money. Like we're like right now we were talking about like building a team of people. Like we have a guy in like an hour and a half away from us that he was an up and coming videographer, and we're just like, dude, your stuff is really good. We like it. Would you be down to like team up with us? And we'll only like exclusively use you for like any content or videos. And I think he was only charging us like $1,000 a music video, you know, for like the quality you're getting. Like obviously you can get, and also that's the hard part is finding the right budget for the quality. Like you can pay $1,000 to somebody, but if the quality's not there, then it's just like, you know, it's like
$1,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, to answer your question, even today, like I said, unless someone in your band is a producer, an engineer, and you have a videographer in you're going to spend some money. I mean, you're going to have to spend some money. You can do it on your own, but the other thing is the people are just like so hungry for content. You've got to start like creating more than what you can, you want to have it a month in advance. You want to have enough stuff so that you can trickle it out, because you can't keep up with the monster of social media.
Yeah.
Like you just can't if you're trying to do it on a day-to-day basis and stay on top of things. You got to work ahead.
Yeah, like social media is just like a whole job in its own.
Yeah.
Like that's why Harrison does it all, and like he's like constantly on his phone. I feel like I just feel like he's always on his phone looking for the next comment he can put on something. You know, like he's just scrolling.
He is not scared to put a comment on anybody. Like I think he gets in a little tussles with people. Somebody said something about Nickelback's not whatever, and he just started posting facts. He's like, 10 million. He's like, I got receipts here. What you're saying is untrue. And then the dude was like, you don't know anything.
It's funny. Like it's fun to see like the back and forth sometimes, because I'm like, what's funny is like he told me one time that like this one person he was going back and forth with on social, like it was like at first it started off like super like back and forth, like he was mad about something, but then like at the end of it he was just like, you guys are actually pretty good, you got a new fan here. Like it was just like, so it just turned into
it's
a fan.
The respect factor. Like, are you gonna back down? That is something we're probably not gonna do.
Yeah, it's like, dude, take 3 seconds, type my name in Spotify before you start running your mouth. All right, just hold on.
I've sold 21 albums, dude. You gotta no. You want to tell them about what we're a part of right now with the $10,000?
Well, I don't even know the information on that.
Yeah,
like, I saw that you guys are in the running.
We made it
that,
in
right?
the runnings for the one bracket.
And so like I said, like the big thing I felt like me and Hampton were talking about this last night when Joey fell asleep on us. Like it was, we were talking about like how networking is such a vital thing. So like for any up and coming bands, like networking is such a vital piece of growing.
Do podcasts. Answer your DMs.
Yeah, like and it's like there's people that I have networked in years ago that till this day, like I'll be like, oh, I got this person I can reach out to, and it comes in handy because the person I've kept a relationship with. And I'm not saying like use people, because obviously that's not the wrong, that's a mindset you want to have. Like you want to like have networking and good business with people, and like because if like the more better business you have, the more they're going to want to help you. You know what I mean? And so like,
you got to check your ego.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah. And it's just like, so like networking is so huge for sure. Like I don't even know where I was going with it. But yeah, that's what it was. So like we reached out with Roadhounds, which was something I just saw because Denny Wimmer does like these contests. So like they do like these brackets, and it's all like no labels involved. It's literally just like the people that work there, like it's like Josh Balls, which is actually his name, Josh Balls, and I can't remember their name now.
What's the name of his company?
Well, he's like, he used to be the keyboard player in Motionless in White years ago.
Okay.
and so he has like a pretty decent idea in the industry, and so and like, there's other people in like the industry, like so it's like Danny Wimmer employees. Then you got like Josh Balls, and you got this other guy, and they host this thing called the Space Zebra Show or something on Twitch. And initially, it's all it is you just submit your name into the brackets, and like hopefully that you get like entered into it. And if you do get on the bracket, then like you do like a shootout, like basically like a virtual battle of the bands. And and like the winner gets to play at all the Danny Wimmer festivals, which obviously is like massive for like bands. Like that's like those are the big festivals. Like you play with like everybody. And so like you'll be playing like Louder Than Life and like Rock on the Range. Like, I mean all the Danny Wimmers. And so we got onto that luckily. And like like back to the thing like you miss your shots that you don't take or whatever that quote is. Like I had submitted our name for this bracket because like the only way to get on the bracket is like he picks randomly out of all the hundreds of bands that submitted, and then he plays the music video or whatever you submitted, and then like live on Twitch the viewers will vote yes or no. Like you either get on the bracket or you don't get on the bracket. And so like I was like he was about to end the stream for that night. Like he was just about to end it, and he hadn't even like played our video yet, and I was like, oh my gosh. So I did like my Hail Mary pass. I donated like $5 with like under the Set for the Fall Twitch account, and was just like, you should use our music video for the outro or just something. Like I can't remember what I said exactly. And like I saw his eyes like as soon as I sent the tip, I saw his eyes like look at his other monitor, and I was like, oh God, he's reading it. Like I already knew it. Like immediately, I was like, I knew it. And then like because he was already saying his goodbyes. He was like, all right guys, we'll see you next week and this and that, blah blah blah. And then so I submitted the tip real quick, and then he's just like, actually, we're gonna go ahead and close out with one more band. And he's like, this one's Set for the Fall. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I got us in there, And so basically I say all that was just like, it was just something like, I just was like, how, like, what am I doing different other than spamming my band name in the chat box the whole time? You know what I mean? Like you want to like figure out like, what's something that other bands aren't doing that is going to stick me out, which is like, it's such a vague thing to say because everyone says that, like, you got to be different. But it's like you really got to think about it. Like, what can I do differently? What was that?
Right. I said you got to figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, and that's how it is you just got to try a million things until something works for you guys. And not saying like that worked out because we didn't win that bracket, but it was like, but now like the people in that industry know who we are because of, or not in the industry, but in that network of people know the band Set for the Fall. Because. Like a lot of people were popping in and out in the background. They're like, "Oh, this band's sick," and it was just like, so now like we know that like the Danny Wimmer staff knows the name Set for the Fall. Yeah. So like if we were to ever whatever at one point play a Danny Wimmer festival, they're gonna be like, "Oh yeah, I remember you guys from whenever." So it's just like networking is such a vital. Like I said, just referring back to that, it's like networking is such a vital thing that people don't take advantage of because people just want that instant gratification of like I need it now, like I don't.
They don't want the connection. They don't want the friendship.
They don't want to. We're not willing to put in the work and the time to like grow relationships, And it's just like, and I'm the opposite. Like I love talking to people. Like obviously I've been talking this entire time, and it's like so like I just love talking and like I just love like and I really do wish I could help bands because we've been there. Like we're still there. Like we're still figuring out what works, and we're still so like any band that comes up to us in our DMs. We're always open to like answering questions, like we're always just like, this is what we did. I mean, maybe it might not work for you, but here's your starting point. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So,
man, I hope you guys like blow way up, man. I really
appreciate it, dude.
We hope so too, and we won't forget all the people that we've met along the way because it has been an awesome ride so far.
Well, there's definitely a stop needed in Omaha when you decide to go out on tour here. So you guys can hit us up and we can help you with that. So. What's that?
I'll be in Nebraska quite a bit.
Yeah, man. So let's line it up, man. Let's get you guys out here, man. But yeah, man, we appreciate you guys coming on, man. Everybody check out Set for the Fall, man, everywhere on streaming devices.
Thank you guys so much for having us, man.
Until the midnight hour.